Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shirat David. What a schus to be here. We're in the Likutey Halachos Halachos Tzizit, Halacha Gimel, and today we're going to do letter Vav 26. Shem Avaya, Baruch Hashem. It's a very special day for us because we're actually going to finish today with Siyata D'Shmaya, of course, Halacha Gimel, and we've been working on it quite some time. And Rav Nosson is going to give us a recap today of a lot of things that we learned, and the crux of the lesson, and the most important points of the lesson. So let's learn. We ready? Everyone have the place? Yeah. Okay. Miloi pegimas halavana hi bechinas tikun hamokim. So we're learning this concept of the Lavana, right? This concept, this wonderful concept of the Lavana, the moon. The wonderful concept of the moon and the moon's, complaint to the Rabbeinu Shalom, right? Chavav. And the moon's complaint to the Rabbeinu Shalom that there can't be two kings, it'd be mishtamish with one ketzer, right? How can that be? And then the Rabbeinu Shalom said, go make yourself smaller. Why? Because if you don't believe that there's a concept of lemala min hamokim. All right, that's what he was telling the move. You don't believe there's a concept lemala min hamokim. You think there's only space, there's enough room for you and the sun. There's no more room. So then you're in mokim. When you're in mokim, that's part of din, and so on. But whenever we work on miloi pegimas, we work to be mole. We work to fix, to rectify the mistake of the moon. That's tikkun hamokim. We're fixing place, because the whole problem was place. The moon said that there's not enough place. Lahalos bechinas mokim, to raise up the place. To raise up wherever you are. And this is the lesson for everybody. No one should ever believe that they're stuck in a situation. Nobody should ever believe that I'm stuck in this situation and I can't get out. It's not true. Anytime we want to improve ourselves, we have all these beautiful tools that Rav Nosson is giving us, is teaching us about. And the main tool that we're learning about now is tzitzis. And we know that every time you're looking at tzitzis, the tzitzis can give a person that jolt, that boost, to connect him to the Rabbeinu Shalom. When we said Rabbeinu Shalom is Mekai Mai Shel Olam, Veina Olam Mekai Mai, right? That's the Rabbeinu Shalom. We can always connect ourselves to the Macabre Chili. We don't have to stay stuck. This is the psychology, right? People feel they're stuck and they go to the psychologist, they go to the psychiatrist, and they take all kind of medication because they don't know how to get out. They know they're stuck, they're trapped in Makkah. But we're learning there's a concept I can get out. I don't need to stay stuck. I don't need to go anywhere. I just need to go get a good pair of tzitzis, and I have to take and study the tzitzis and study the strings, the wool, the beautiful wool of the tzitzis, the tchelis, and to remember, my tzitzis can help connect me to the kisei hakavod, to the highest, in the highest world where we talked about it, Atzilus, the throne, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu's throne is, and we can connect ourselves there. And then anyone will ask you, what do I have to do with the kisei hakavod? You know what? You're a Jew. You have a chelik elikami mal inside you. You have that neshama, which is a chelik elikami mal, which is a part of the Rebbeinu Shalom. You know where it comes from? Right underneath the kisei hakavod. That's where it came from. And that's what you have inside of you. Every one of us has that inside of us. So that's really what we're supposed to do. So now he says like this, V'zeh shekasu sham b'Torah now. And that's what it says in the lesson, in Yod Daled, that what? It's from lesson Yud Zayin 17, letter 14. Shashem Yisbarach Shu Mekaymei Shel Halam V'yodeya mekoyim kol echad ve'echad. The Rebbeinu Shalom is Mekoymai Shalaylam. Like we keep saying it, we're going to keep saying it. The Rebbeinu Shalom is Mekoymai Shalaylam. What does that mean? He's Mekoymai Shalaylam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in every single one's place. It says in Pirkei Avos, Al Tadnes Chavercha Ad Shetegiya LeMekoymai. Right? And really, all the Mefarshim say, since you can't get to anyone's place, so how can you ever judge them? You don't know what's going on in their lives. Right? But the Rebbeinu Shalom is Mekoymai Shalaylam. He is in their place. He is in everyone's life. He is everyone's life. He's part of he knows every one of the different situations in their life and all the parameters of their life. He understands everything because he's there. Because the Rebbeinu Shalom is there. Mekoymai Shalaylam. Yadei Mekoym kol echad ve'echad. Al kein kova berachamah. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu established with His mercy, Yom Hadin, the day of judgment, Shal Rosh Hashanah b'Rosh Chodesh. Remember we learned this concept? Mm-hmm. It's the only holiday. It's the only holiday that we have that's on Rosh Chodesh. There's no other holiday. Mm-hmm. There's no other. All the other holidays are in the middle of the month, on the 6th of the month, whatever. They're not on the 15th. They're not on the 1st. What's the significance that Rosh Hashanah is on the 1st of the month? What is the significance? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu also had the situation with the Lavana, right? The Lavana came to the Rebbeinu Shalom on Rosh Chodesh, and the Rebbeinu Shalom on Rosh Chodesh told him to go lech and make yourself smaller. Go and make yourself smaller. Remember? Yeah. Remember, Rosh Hashanah b'Rosh Chodesh hu tikkun b'gimas haLavana. That's fixing the pegam of the Lavana.
And we never mention Rosh Chodesh on Rosh Hashanah.
No, we don't. No.
No mention.
No mention of it. No mention. We just mentioned the day of Rosh Hashanah. Hine Yom Hadin. We don't mention any. There's no mention of Rosh Chodesh on Rosh Hashanah, but it is on Rosh Chodesh. It is on Rosh Chodesh.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-day Rosh Chodesh.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess
but we learned it's really a Yom HaRichter, remember? It's really Yom HaRichter. It's a long day because it's the Malam min Hazman. Remember we said the two tools of the Sitra Achar is he likes to attack us when it comes to Zman, and he likes to attack us when it comes to Makkah, right? Those are the two tools of the Sitra Achar. He likes to do that, right? And that's why we would take the Imus Iron that we're learning in the lessons. We would take the barley and wave it at a certain time on Pesach. Remember we're learning that, right? And we said that's how we can lift up. That's how we can lift up Makkah. That's how we can lift up this Iron, and which is Makkah. And we do it at a certain time, and then we can lift up Zman. And that's what we all have to do. We have to always be lifting up the Zman, and we have to always understand that the Rabbi Nachman taught us all the time. You only have the time that you're in right now, right? Because right now is the present moment, but this moment in another moment will be the past, right? And the moment ahead of us is the future. So I only have is the second that I'm in now. So what can I do in this moment? What do I do in this moment? The Sitra Achar tries to tell us, nah, come on, all these years, you made all these mistakes, and who do you think you are today to make a change? No. Okay, that was then. I'm a new guy now. I'm a Chadesh v'tuvay v'chol yom tavid ma'aseh b'reitzos. All the lessons we learned. I'm new today. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Yes, of course, I'll have to make a din v'cheshbon, I'll fix it up, and I'll work on it. And I'll work on it with my Yisbaidus, with the Rebbeinu, of course. But right now, I have to do what I have to do. These are the wonderful lessons that the Rebbe is teaching us. I mean, the most wonderful psychology that there is in the world, positive psychology, unbelievable. Right? Do you agree?
Yeah, it's very popular now with presence. You know, it's a big topic in popular psychology now. Presence.
Present right now.
Right now, yeah.
Where did they get it from? They steal it all from here.
Yeah,
they took it all from Rav Nassim. They took it all from Rabbi Nachman. These are the lessons. Could you imagine when BRI is doing the project now? You know, we're translating the Likutey Halachos, and it'll be out for everyone. Could you imagine? The psychologists will all buy those sets and they'll have good training. Imus Hashem. Oh, Imus Hashem, huh? Real psychology, not that garbage. Okay, anyway. Kidaike b'rosh chodesh, shaz Hashem yisbarach mischaret al shemiut es halavana. You see this? Look at this. Again, it's hard to say, but Chazal teach us this, right? It's hard to say. The Rebbeinu Shalom has a charata. What's a remorse? How do you say charata? Remorse? Regret, remorse. Remorse is the same word, isn't it?
Yeah.
It means the same thing. Okay. Regret. We'll use you said regret. I'll use regret. HaKadosh Baruch Hu he regrets the fact that he told the Lavana to make himself smaller. The Lavana had to make itself smaller. And we said that it says all the time, if you see the Seder Kabbanas, when it comes to Rosh Chodesh, so there's always a Sarl Hashem, right? We spoke about this. Why is there a Sarl Hashem? Why is Hashem bringing a Sar? For this reason. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you don't see it any other time. Sarl Hashem. It's a Sarl Hashem. You're bringing a carbon for Hashem, a Sar. Why? Because again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has that regret for making the Lavana smaller. V'tikun pigimas haLavana hu b'chinas tikun hamakim. And it's one of the same. Because the whole idea of the Lavana, when you fix the begam of the Lavana, you're fixing the begam of Makim. Why? Because it's really one of the same. The whole problem, what was the moon's complaint? That there's not enough space. There's not enough space for the two of us. There's no room. There's no room. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, okay, so make yourself smaller. Right? If you don't fit, so go make yourself smaller. Go make yourself smaller. And that's what the moon did, right? But so any time we work on Pegimas HaLavana, we work on to be Malay, the Begam of the Lavana, every time we do that, we're fixing Makkah. We're fixing the situation. We're fixing the situations that we're in. We fix those situations. Bechinas Tikkun HaMakim. La'alos lebechinas l'malem in HaMakim. To teach us this concept, that we should know the concept well. That really we can always be l'malam in hamakim. We don't have to be in makim. We don't have to be stuck. We don't have to be stuck in situations and circumstances. We can raise ourselves over anything. A Jew can raise themselves over anything. We learned in the lesson that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Mitzrayim and we came to Sukkot. We came there in a day. How did we get there in a day? L'malam in hamakim. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us off the ground and He lifted us. He took us. Whenever we're above Makim, we can do anything. We're not stuck. We're not confined. The examples that we learned in the Beis Hamikdash, right? That we had the Aron, and between the Shtei Badim, there were two Badim. How wide was the Aron? It was 2 amas. It was a small little box, right? It wasn't the Aron wasn't a huge box. Right? But Klal Yisrael was able to stand in between the bottom. What? 2 amas? Yeah, because it's l'malam and hamakim. So l'malam and hamakim, anything's possible. Anything's possible. How did all Klal Yisrael fit in the Beis Hamikdash? How did they do? L'malam and hamakim. Anytime, all the examples are l'malam and hamakim. All these examples. Right? Even here, look at Shira David, right? Look at our little shul here, right? His shul, right? Come Friday night, right? Where do all these people fit in there? How do they fit all these? These guys, they come out of the woodwork. I know all these people come. They all show up. They all just show up.
Where do they come
and they fit. No, and we all fit.
Yeah.
And we all fit.
Where do we all go on Shabbos? More
I don't know. No. But I'm saying, right, when we have 600-700 people show up Friday, I don't know. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
No. I'm just using I'm giving an example. Even here in our shul, where we have this idea of l'malam and hamakim, that everyone fits. There's not enough room for everybody, but everyone fits.
It's because Shabbos l'malam and hamakim.
L'malam and hazman. L'malam and hazman. And then the shul is l'malam and hamakim because it's a mikdash ma'at. Isn't it nice? All these nice things we learn these nice lessons and we understand how to apply them in our daily life to see it. So now we'll know every time you see a lot of people in one place in a shul, you understand it's l'malam and hamakim. You can remember the lesson. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Okay, Nimsa, Rosh Chodesh, Shu Tikkun Pegimas Lavana, Shemei Hashem Yisbarach B'chinas Lamala Ben Amakim. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows us this thing and reminds us all the time that we're Lamala Ben Amakim, Shu B'chinas Tshuva, which is an idea of Tshuva, coming back, returning to the Rabbeinu Shalom, Tshuva. Tshuva. While a person is a Bal Aveira, while the person's doing his mistakes, Chas v'Shalom, so he doesn't feel connected. He feels stuck in the Averis. The Averis keep him stuck. But as soon as the person does tshuva, that's freedom. Tshuva is freedom. Why? Because tshuva is kaidim la'olam. Tshuva, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had tshuva set up before he made anything. Tshuva was there. So when a person does tshuva, he goes l'mala min hazman, because he's going in a place that comes before time. It transcends time because it's before time. Tshuva was from before time. So that's the way it works. So that's why tshuva is. That's what tshuva is. And then we know when a person makes tshuva, is idainius nasius kizechuyos, right? Rav Kook says such a beautiful lesson in Iris HaTshuva. He adds onto that statement from Chazal, Zidanis Nasius Kizechuyas, he says mamash. He adds in mamash. Actually, that's the way it works. And he explains in such a beautiful way, and I just want to share it with you now, because maybe it'll help us in our lesson over here. He says like this, a person does different sins, right? Everybody has in their mind, they have a boundary that they feel that, I can go up to here, but I'm not going to cross this. This I won't do. As I may speak this way and this and that, but I won't say an actual word of lashon hara. Maybe I'll do a little bit. I'll go around and this, and then maybe in business a person feels I can say this or that, but I won't actually steal money. Maybe I'll say something, but I won't actually steal money, right? Or people do I'm just giving you a silly example. People in their mind, people talk in their mind different things. They put their own boundaries. They put their own boundaries on things, and they justify those things. So Rav Kook says like this. So the Rav Kook says, and he explains it so beautifully, that the way we understand that whenever we're doing an Aveira, like we're learning, we create all these different malachim, right? Whenever we do a mitzvah, we create these beautiful myriads of malachim. And the malachim keep coming in, and they keep greeting us each time, right? We put on a tefillin this morning. So all those malachim that came, that you created all your life, putting on the tefillin, they all come, and they're waiting for you to make the bracha on the tefillin and put on the tefillin, because now they get another malach comes. Fascinating, right? They join in, a new malach joins them. You made a new malach. Who thought about that this morning when they were putting on that tefillin? Who thought about that when they were putting on that talis and that tzitzis this morning? Did anyone think about that? We should. It's lebedik, mamish. There are groups of malachim coming to visit. We don't see them, but they're there. They're there. If we saw them, there would be no bechira, right? If you saw every morning all the malachim coming and joining you, when you put on your tzitzis, there will be no game. There's no game. You tell everyone, look what I just saw. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants bechira. Okay, so we know when a person does an aveira, he makes a mistake. So he also creates an angel, and then each angel says. Rabbi Nachman teaches in Sichas Haran that each angel is tavei. He wants, hey, listen, you made me. You have to create another malach. You have to do another aveira. You made me. You're an aveira. You have to do another aveira. So that's the idea, the concept of aveira, gaireres aveira, right? Because the person does aveira as gaireres aveira, mitzvah gaireres mitzvah. Those malachim say, listen, you made us do another mitzvah, so you would create another malach to take care of us. They sustain them exactly. So Rav Kook says so beautifully that every time the person makes a mistake, so he does another mistake, and then each time the guy stretches his thing a little bit because he got closer to he stretches it, But he says one day the person's going to cross his own line. One day the guy's going to say, wow, I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe. He justified everything till now. But I'll never do this. And then he realizes he did it. He did whatever it was. Whatever that thing was. It doesn't make it, whatever it was. He realizes he crossed his own line. So what's he going to do now? He's going to say, wait a second, I thought I was good till now. I thought everything was beseder until now. Everything was good, but I realized it wasn't. So really, I'm not on the right derech. I'm not doing the right thing. And really, I have to search and find what I have to do. And I have to find in Hashem because I can't go on this way. The guy's hurting inside. He can't believe he did that. He can't believe whatever he did. So here we're talking about a real guy. Not a guy that says, he goes find some doctor that's going to give him some medication, and he'll go in La La Land. No, this guy's a thinking guy and he's worried about it. He's worried about it. So what does he do? He starts to think and he starts to find Hashem and he does tshuva. He does tshuva. So wait a second. That Aveira caused him to look for Rabbeinu Shalom, caused him to find tshuva. All of those Aveiras were all stepping stones to bring him to this Aveira that he crossed that line right now that he didn't think he would ever cross. You understand?
Yeah.
He didn't think he would ever cross it, but now that he crossed it, he looks for Hashem. So that's why when Chazal say that the Zidonius Nasius Kizuchuyus, Rav Kook adds in there, Mamish, why? Because it was all of those Aveiras that brought the guy to Tshuva. You understand? All of those things that were part and parcel to bring the person to Tshuva. Till that, the person wasn't going to do Tshuva. But since he did whatever he did, it brought him to Tshuva. So those things were all stepping stones to bring him to bring him back to the Rabbeinu Shalom, tshuva. They were all to bring him back to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And that's what it means. All the iniquities can be turned into merits. Because those iniquities were the stepping stones, were the vehicles to bring him to tshuva, and the whole tachlis is to get to tshuva. That's the whole tachlis. It makes sense?
Well, yeah, it's because he has the ratzon.
He has the ratzon, yeah.
Because otherwise, you make a mistake, you rationalize it.
No, we're talking about a guy that's a serious guy. I'm not talking about a clown. No, we're talking about a serious guy that really thought he's running his life in an honest way. He thought he was doing the right thing. I'm not talking about a guy that was a shyst. I'm talking about a guy
it could be a Beinoni too. It could be a guy.
Listen, don't get into Beinoni. Beinoni never makes a mistake.
Well, then
and the Tanya says the Beinoni never makes a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. I have to be careful with that word Beinoni. Yeah. Right? Beinoni, the Tanya says the Beinoni has the Yetzer. He has the Yetzer Hara. He has the Yetzer, but he never gives in to him. He never makes the mistake.
Right.
What a level. What a level, right? What a level. What a level. Yeah. So anyway, so of course the guy has to have the rotzen. If the guy doesn't have the rotzen, he's not a thinking guy. He's not an honest guy. He'll never come to that. But we're talking about a guy that's an honest guy. But he's not really on the right path. He thinks he's on the right path. He thinks he's doing good. He means to be doing good.
Yeah.
He means to be doing good, but he's just making a lot of mistakes. You understand? So that way, when he makes that final mistake, that is the vehicle that brings him back to the truth, because he realizes this derech that I'm on is a mistake. This derech I'm on, this path I'm on that I thought was a good path is not a good path. It's a mistake. And that's why he brings him back to tshuva. We're good? We understand? Does it help understand the lesson a little bit?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Baruch Hashem. Shu tshuva. Bechinas tikun l'chol hachatoyim. What tshuva is to fix all the sin, right? All the different sins canal. Barichas. Ba'al keinu chased gadol shekava yoyim adin. Chesed gadol shekava yoyim adin b'rosh chodesh. So it was a great chesed from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he set up Rosh Hashanah should be on Rosh Chodesh. Because this way HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, Kiviyachal, has Charata. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has regret. We're using that word, remember? Okay? He has regret that he told the moon. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekayimai Shel Olam, and he understands the situation and the place of everybody. And because the Rebbeinu Shalom knows the place of everybody, and the Rebbeinu Shalom understands that even the moon, that right at creation, the moon made a mistake in Macabre. The moon got stuck in Macabre. The moon got stuck in Macabre. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I acted a little bit in a hastily way. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. That's the remorse. That's the regret that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has. So he says, I'm going to make Rosh Hashanah when? On Rosh Chodesh. So that way I can judge everybody in a favorable way, because I understand their situations. I understand how everyone's stuck in Makkah. I got it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I understand that. So I'm going to make Rosh Hashanah, it'll be on Rosh Chodesh specifically. Be'ez Tikkun Pegimas Lavana. That's the whole time that we're working on the Pegima of the Lavana. We're working to fix the Pegama of the Lavana, the Makkah. Kioz Meir Bechinas Lamalam and Amakim, because then it shows we all know and believe. We all know and believe on Rosh Hashanah. We all know and believe that we're Lamalam and Amakim. We all want to do the right thing. We're all working on coronating HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the HaMelech. The whole idea of the Rosh Hashanah is HaMelech, right? And we realize, what am I stuck in all these different things? And a person feels and he wants to get closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And that's the Malam and HaMakim. Shayidei Zeh Ikra Tikkun. That's the main Tikkun. Any time we can come closer to Hashem and realize that we are connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom, Shivisi Hashem L'negdi Summit, like Shulchan Aruch starts out with, right? Shulchan Aruch starts out, you're supposed to feel Shivisi Hashem L'negdi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in front of me. He's with me all day long. Hashem is there with me. If Hashem is there with you, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Melech Malchei Amlochim, so don't you think you can get out of whatever situation you're in? If a person thinks, Chas v'shalom, they're all by themselves, if I'm all by myself, then I'm in trouble. I can't get out. But if a person understands that he's with the Rebbeinu Shalom, is there anything that the Rebbeinu Shalom can't do? Wow, it's such a chizuk. These words are such treasures. All these words are of Nasan. They're mama's treasures. They're so simple. And we think, okay, so Rav Nosson, you're telling to us again and again. Yeah, he's telling us again and again. He wants us to get this lesson. He wants us to understand that we don't have to be stuck. We can have the courage to get out of whatever it is. Whether a person's in a difficult relationship, he can get out. When a person's in his job, in his thing, he can make a change. He doesn't have to think, if I give up this job, I'll never get another job. It'll never work. Stupid. Why? Of course it'll work. You need to do the right thing. You have to feel good about what you're doing. You don't have to be stuck. Right? That makes sense what we're saying here. A person doesn't have to be stuck. If this isn't work, so change it. Change it. Mishana Mokim, Mishana Mazel, right? Right, that's what they say, right? Mishana Mokim, Mishana Mazel. Change your place, change your situation, and you can change your Mazel. Because again, you're getting out of your Mokim. How does that work? You're getting out of your Mokim. I'm leaving this situation, I'm going to another place, I'm leaving this place, so of course I can change my Mazel. My mazel over here maybe wasn't so good, like the lesson we learned with Rabbi Nachman, the Baal Shem Tov, and Alexei, the driver. He came to that place in the forest, and he wanted to kill him. Why? Because a murder took place there. So maybe the place I'm in is causing me to have these problems. So you know what? I'll move. Mishana Mokim, Mishana Mazel. I don't have to think, if I leave here, I'll never find another place. Nonsense. There's always another place. Change the place. And this is just people have to have courage. They need to have courage. It's encouragement to people can make change in their lives. Can make change in their lives. All you guys out in Chutz La'aretz, you're all worried. You don't think you can come to Eretz Yisrael. It's not going to work. It's not going to this. It's not going to this. Nonsense. You can leave. It'll work. The school system here is great. People make money here. People do everything. It's no problem. The food here is better. Cost of living is less. You don't have to worry about paying those $30,000, $40,000 tuitions. Come on, what are we doing? We can get out of the muck. We can get out of that.
think if Hashem can take care of them over here.
What is Rabbi, my dear Rabbi Chaim Kramer, he says, the same Rabbi Shalom that gives you a parnasa there, he can give you a parnasa over here. But you understand that you don't need to have as much parnasa over here because, again, people in America, they're paying $20,000 a year for health insurance. You know that? $20,000 a year for health insurance. And that's not even expensive. That's like a good price today. And the tuition in schools, guys got 5 kids, right? They're in school. Minimum will be $20,000 a year. Minimum. That's $100,000. And then $20,000 for the health insurance. It's $120,000 before he even has a home. He doesn't have food. They don't have clothes for the kids, right? What a bargain.
Absolutely. 100 shekel a month for the Kolim over here.
100 shekel a month. You hear what Sasha says? 100 shekel a month. That's $30. $30.
For the good one.
But yeah, that's the Shali, right? Yeah. If you tell me I have the Macabre Chili, the Shali. Yeah, you got the Cadillac, right? Yeah. All right, let's go back to the lesson. Anyway, this is the whole thing, that we all can get out of the muck. We don't have to stay stuck. We could make changes in our life. And we have to believe that the Rebbeinu Shalom will help us. He wants us to make change. Hashem wants us to be successful. He wants us to feel connected to Him. This is what it's all about. This is mamish what it's all about. So Hashem is Baruch Donis Hakol Berachamim Kefi Mekaymai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges everyone on Rosh Hashanah according to their place. No two people have the same judgment. Why? Because no two people have the same situation. Everything is different. The parameters change in everyone's lives. There's no two people that have the same situation. So, of course, they can't be judged the same way. We don't understand our challenge. We don't understand everything and everyone else, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu understands. So look what he says. Kal Yadei Hashem is Baruch Dones Hakol, everything, everyone, Birachim Kifi Mekoimoi, according to that person's situation, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekoimoi Shalaylam, and he knows the makom of the person. Bechinas al todines chavecha ad shetiyel mekoimoi. He's repeating it again and again. You can't judge anybody. Don't judge anybody because you're not in their place. You don't understand. But when it comes to Rosh Chodesh, when it comes to Rosh Hashanah, that's Rosh Chodesh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did the biggest chesed by making that Rosh Hashanah will be on Rosh Chodesh. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekoimoi Shalaylam, and He knows the makom of every single person, but no one else does, and therefore we have no right to judge anybody. We have no right to judge anybody. Ki hu yizbarach Mekoimoi Shalaylam. He is the world. He is everything of the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is everything in the world. Ki gam Tikun Pegimas Lavana Hu al Yedei Bechinas Lamala Min Hamakim. Because even the Pegama the Lavana, fixing the Pegama the Lavana, is an aspect of Lamala Min Hamakim. Why is it an aspect of Lamala Min Hamakim? Because again, the Lavana's whole complaint was there's not enough space. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And therefore, since the Lavana made a mistake in Makim, the Lavana didn't think it can work. Right? It was possibly Zman also, right? Possibly Zman also, because again, there's two kings. How can we both run the thing at the same time? Right? That's Zman also, right? That's also Zman. So the whole of one, anytime we work and we make a tikkun on our makom, and we make a tikkun on makom, and we understand that we can go l'malam in a makom, we're fixing the Lavana. We're working on fixing the Lavana. We know that Klal Yisrael is compared to the moon because we have to make these tikkunim. And that's why the lesson is so important. And the same way the moon, every month it waxes and wanes. Every single month it gets bigger and smaller, to teach us that we're going to have aliyahs and we're going to have yeridas. But we have to understand to know that every yerida is l'tzayrich the aliyah. And then every person's a yerida that they have, it's a yerida, but we have to believe that everyone and anyone's yerida that they're going through is only because of it's an aliyah. There's an aliyah coming to them. There's something good coming to them from that thing. So why should I judge that? That's a Yerida, but we believe and we know and believe that every Yerida is L'tzarech the Aliyah. You right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that means how can I look at somebody and say that they're doing something wrong? They're going through a Yerida. So that Yerida that they're going through is really, they're only going through their Yerida to get to their Aliyah. So what am I supposed to look? You can't judge, if a painter is painting something, right? He's painting a painting, right? Right? So you can't look at the painting in the middle. You have to wait for the painter to finish it. Then you can judge it. Then you can see it, right? Well, if it's in the middle, it may look like who knows what, right? It may not look so nice when it's finished too with a painter, but that's another story. That's a different story. Whatever you like, right? Whatever you like, right?
From our view, it's it's like those things that people crochet.
A tapestry.
The back of the tapestry.
Oh, it's knotted up and everything.
You have no idea what's on the other side.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying that's a different concept now. I'm saying that it's in the middle. See, when you see a person going through a Yerida, that's in the middle. They're in middle of they're in middle of that making the tapestry, even the front. Forget about the back. That's even, you're looking at the front, but it's not finished.
Yeah.
So you don't see what it's going to be. You don't understand.
Yeah.
So you're not going to judge that. So the same way, let's use this whenever we see any Jew making a mistake, to say, wait a second, he's in the middle of the situation here. What am I supposed to look at it now? It's not for me to look at it now. He's in the middle of this situation going on. We'll look at him another year from now. We'll see how great he's doing. The guy's going to be great in another year. It's not for me to judge. Why do I need to judge? Why do I need a judge? It's unbelievable, mamish. I'm telling you. I met over the years. You meet people. Baruch Hashem, we go to Uman, and sometimes you see only people in Uman. These guys, they come from all over the world, right? From mamish, from all over the world. So you see guys, you see people, once a year, and then sometimes you see that mamish, they look so much better, and this is one. You see, wow, look at the wonders of the Rabbeinu Shalom. It's mamash, these are the wonders of Rabbeinu. So that's why we're learning, don't judge anybody. Don't judge anyone. Let the Rabbeinu Shalom judge. And if ever we see anything, they're in the middle of their makim. They're stuck in their makim there. They'll get lamalim in a makim, and that'll get fixed. And that'll be their aliyah. That'll be their aliyah, mitzvah Hashem. And everything will work out. So that's the whole idea that we're learning, just to finish it off now. So this whole lesson that we were learning was all based on lesson 1. Lesson Aleph in Tinyana, right, where Rabbi Nachman taught us that we have to be in control of the malachim, right? The malachim. We have to control malachim. And we ask, how can we control malachim? So we have to control the malach inside of us. And what's the malach inside of the Yetzer Hara? We have to control our own Yetzer Hara. How can we control our own Yetzer Hara? We have our tzitzis. And the first thing we do in the morning, we put on the tzitzis. The first beged we put on. The first thing we put on is our tzitzis. Why do we put on our tzitzis first in the morning? To see them. Take a moment. Look at the tzitzis. Look at the tachlis. Look at this. This is the tchelis, is the tachlis, to remind me I'm mamish connected to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And whenever we're connected to the Rabbeinu Shalom, we have protection. That's real protexia. You're connected to the Rabbeinu Shalom. Who can be a better protection than you have the Rabbeinu Shalom on your side? Wow. And how can you get the Rabbeinu Shalom? He said, look at your tzitzis in the morning. And that's really what it is. And then that can help you fight and control the Yetzer Hara. And that's how you can use that to control the Yetzer Hara. So you can control the malachim, and you can make more malachim, like we keep learning this beautiful idea, by doing more mitzvahs and more mitzvahs. And do you want to have any comments on this before we close out this lesson? Do we have any?
Another mission in Pirkei says, I think says, "Idea Basel Koladam Shein Lechamokum Zman." It's just that everyone's got.
Everyone has their time.
Time.
Everyone has their time. Yeah. Everyone has their time. Exactly. Everyone has their time.
Place and time.
They have yeah. They have their place and time. Everyone will they get their time. Everyone will get their time. All right, shkoyach, everybody.